Yep, yes, sir.
How was the trip in?
But nah, it was packed, brother, and that was shocking to me. But they piled us in there like sardines, like they used to, and pretty much 250-pound Spanish woman sitting right beside me, and a 180-pound girl on the window, and everything full. Everything full.
Well, hopefully you don't catch anything out of that.
Yeah. What kind of flag's that behind you?
I put the Texas one up for you.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
I appreciate the heck out of that. Where are you from?
Canada.
No.
Yeah.
Are you in Canada now?
Oh, yeah. I'm in Canada now where it's freezing.
Yeah, brother. Well, it's cold here, but there ain't no snow nowhere. And every time I've come up here to New York, there's always snow. Always snow. But not this time, brother. Not this time. I'll tell you a few stories about Canada, too.
All right. Well, if you're good to go, I'll jump right into it then.
I'm ready.
Hannibal. I'm stepping out for a second, but I'm gonna do the run-in at the 60-minute mark. Okay.
Sounds
Get
good.
ready. All right.
This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com, and today as my special guest, I have former WWE, WCW, World Class Championship Wrestling, many other places superstar. He was a world champion as well in World Class. Black Bart, how are you doing today, sir?
How you doing, brother? Yeah, you said a world champion. Yeah, I was a world champion in WCCW and fighting them dead gum Von Erichs, but you know, it's worked out. I got a lot of stories about them dudes. Let me tell you.
Well, we have a lot of Texas wrestling fans on this channel, actually. So maybe to start this off, what can you tell us about the Von Erichs?
Well, I wrestled Kevin mainly for 13 months. I told the story about when I come in and I come in out of NWA WCW, and I was coming back home. My home is Fort Worth, Texas. And brother, they George Scott was the booker. Fritz was the owner. Fritz owned the territory. George Scott was the booker. I dropped my bag on the floor, and he dropped the world strap on the top of my bag, and he said, "You're the champ." I said, "I'm the champ." I said, "Brother," I said, he said, "You're the hottest thing I got." I said, "What do you mean? I ain't been on your TV." I said, "But you've been on Atlanta TV, and you've beaten everybody on Atlanta TV, so you're the champ." And I said, "So who was the champ before me?" I mean, I didn't. They said Chris Adams. Well, I said Chris Adams was slapping that co-pilot on a plane and getting deported at that time. But I went to Real Rogers Coliseum in Fort Worth, and that's where I won the strap. George told me to tell everybody I beat him in El Paso or some dead-gum place, and I tell everybody I never beat Chris Adams for that belt, just like Ronnie Garvin and the national heavyweight strap. I went to Bass was wrestling him at ringside, and I was at ringside with Bass wrestling him. I picked the belt up, put it on, and walked off, and I was the champ. That was it. And he had to try to take it back, and that's the way it was. Several different in my career. I'm gonna get a little bit comfortable. The Von Erichs was a complete different kind of wrestlers, because when I started wrestling, David had already died, but all the rest of them were still alive, and I started wrestling Kevin Von Erich, and I wrestled Kevin Von Erich every night for like 13 months. Sometimes it was I had to help him in the ring. I had to he would be so messed up, drugs or whatever. I don't personally want to get into that unless I have to about that part of it. But everybody knows they was all on drugs and strung out on drugs. And I said in some things that they snorted a whole territory straight up their nose. So with that being said, trying to get the finish with the dudes. The one that sticks out in my mind is at the Cotton Bowl. The Cotton Bowl sold out. It's drizzling rain. It's 45 degrees, and we get there like 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. And we start going over finishes from the opening match to the main event. Well, then Kev, I'm dropping the belt back to Kev, and we start going over a finish like at noon. And when I go to the ring at 10 o'clock, 10, whatever the time was, the temperature had dropped and it was drizzling rain even harder. The mat was soaking wet, and still ain't got a finish from Fritz or from Kevin. So I knew that I was dropping the belt back to him because I was leaving because I was done. I mean, I was physically done whooping his butt every night. And that's pretty much what you had to do when you was in the ring with the Von Erich. You had to, if they would come back and say, heck of a match, and then but you had to pound them, you had to hit them hard. And I asked Terry Gordy, I said, me and Terry was tight. I said, Terry, how? Because this is after the Freebird Von Erich feud. I said, how do you deal with them? How do you? He said, Bart, just go to the ring and just beat the living hell out of them. And that's what everybody done. And they would come back and say, "Oh man, great match." And that was pretty. It was pretty much every night, every stinking night that if you had a Von Erich, no matter which one of them it was, except for maybe Mike. Mike wasn't too bad. David was a good. David was the cream of the crop, brother. And I tell. If he'd been alive today, there'd still be a territory in Texas, I think. And that's like I said, that's my opinion. And I don't think for one iota that them boys cared about the business. I don't think back then. I'm talking about back then. They wanted to do their drugs and do what they've done, and that was it. For them to continue 10 years before TBS become TBS, the Superstation, and they were broadcasting everywhere and doing all kinds of stuff. Fritz had a meeting with Channel 11 and Channel 21 and 4 or 5 other stations down there in Texas, and they wanted to syndicate and do and make a Superstation. And can you imagine if the Superstation had been in Dallas Fort Worth instead of Atlanta? Because they would have. With Fritz, they were in a meeting. They come out of the meeting. Fritz told Rick Manning or one of them to go back in there and tell them no deal. That my sons can't. They're good for the state. Statewide, they're good. Maybe nationwide, they're good. But worldwide, they can't do it. They can't do it. And the state got this running it statewide or nationwide, got them. I mean, got them good. But I'm not. I have more respect for their daddy, and he was like an idol to me, and it was one of my goals to wrestle in that territory, not be the world heavyweight champion, but just go there and be able to wrestle and be at home and be at home and be on top. But when I broke into business, Fritz told me, he said, "No, you got to go. You got to go out and you got to make a name for yourself. Then you come back here." And that's the way it was, and that was what I done. I left and went and made a name for myself and come back, and I was world heavyweight champion. So not too bad, and the pay was really good. So You know, little bit on them. You know.
How was the pay in those days?
Back in now get I was home. And I was world champ. I was making anywhere from 1,900 to 2,500 a week, wrestling every 7 days a week. But when we started, the territory was burned out. We had to rebuild the territory. It wasn't just me. It was Mike Davis. It was Maniac Mike Davis, Tommy Lane, the RPMs against Bobby Fulton and Rogers, and they were something, the Fantastics or something like that, and Buzz Sawyer and Matt Bourne, Bruiser Brody was there as wrestling Abdullah, and we had the Simpsons, we had Adams, we had but it was a good, and we started steady going, and it started out, them buildings wouldn't do them about $2 or $3 grand a night, but then it seemed like bam, boom, it was doing 10 grand a night, 7 days a week. That's $7,000 a week. That's money. And then boys went right up their nose. Sorry, Johnny Mantell was there. His brother was the booker before that. Well, he left. So Johnny was middle of the card, semi main, but we had good athletes, good guys in the territory, in the works, and brother, within 6 months we was averaging over 10 grand a night, but and doing very, very well.
Now, I've heard the Von Erichs had a lot of groupies. How was it for you in those days in that territory? Was it the same for the heels?
That's funny, brother. Cause I don't know. I never had no. I would run them off. We protected the business. We loved the business, and we loved what the business. We made money, so every territory that I went to or had anything to do with, I protected the business. I protected the kayfabe. It was they say now kayfabe died, but kayfabe and the old timers ain't dead, brother. They're still, and we still kayfabe, and we still try to protect the business, with everybody else saying it's theatrical and it's this and it's that. But they, you pick somebody up and you slam them on the mat. Now that mat may have a little up and down give, but sooner or later that sucker's going to bottom out. And if you don't know how to land, and you keep one pointing on something on your shoulder or a hip or something, it's go sooner or later. And we wrestled, brother. We wrestled on the out concrete, out on the tables, the chairs. These, what is that? Tables, ladders, and chairs match. We done that every night. That was part of the. You wrestle somebody like Blackjack Mulligan, brother. You were in a fight. You wrestled Bruiser Brody. You was in a fight. Okay. You wrestle Black Bart. You better if you hit me because I'm gonna hit you. Okay. I'm gonna be a little stiff on the. I don't consider it stiff. I considered it protecting the business, making it look good, and now they throw a punch and it misses by 2 or 3, 4, 5 inches, and they act like they got run over by a Mack truck. And it's right there. Everybody can see that guy. And and one of the things that stick in my mind about now and what's going on now, and I ain't picking on nobody or nothing like that, but when it sticks out so bad, when your main heel, the big dog, jumps over the top rope into 13 guys standing there doing this. wait. And he hits 3 of them, bam, and then all the rest of them fall over like dominoes, like bowling pins. You tell anybody that ain't smart is smart now, because you know, you know, if we done that, brother, Dusty Rhodes would have been right there on your butt, and he would give you one warning. The next time he give you a warning, it will be pack your dadgum bags and find you another territory to go work, because you ain't working here no more. Now we took care of the business. We respected the business. Something I don't think that they have that respect. But we wrestled, brother. I heard the other night one of them saying they wrestled five times in 1 week. I fell out of my chair on my living room floor laughing. And he said, and it was the big dog. And I'm not picking on the big dog, but brother, I know this uncles, I know these brothers, I wrestled with them, the original Samoans. I wrestled with the SWAT team, and brother, we wrestled 7 days a week. All right. On Wednesdays, you wrestle 7 or 8 times. Okay. On Friday, you wrestle 2 times. On Saturday, you wrestle 3 or 4 times Saturday morning, and then 3 or 4 times Saturday night at a spot show right outside of Atlanta, and then Sunday you'd be booked twice. So in Savannah, Georgia, and Philadelphia. Okay, and you drove. You didn't jump in a plane and fly. We drove. 10,000 miles a week. It was nothing to do 10,000 miles. That was easy way. But they don't. We respected the business. We had respect for each other, and we had respect we had respect for each other. All right, Tony. I know you. I don't know if you know Tony Savalas or not. Do you? The announcer at WEW.
No, I don't.
And I know you. I don't know if you know Arn Anderson.
Arn Anderson, yeah.
But I know you know him, and you've seen him. He's 4 Horsemen. Well, he wrote a book, right? And in that book, I am the guy that drove the yellow car. And me and him supposed to be like this. Me and him supposed to be tight brothers. And I don't want every one of these. I try to get this in. I want to get it in. Arn Anderson said in his book, says Ric Flair done this, or Ric Flair got him. Ric Flair done. I'm the son of a gun that got Arn Anderson his job, original job. Before there was any Horsemen, before there was the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, he was wrestling in Pensacola, Florida territory with Pete Head as a partner under a hood. And I told him, I said, Marty, you need to send a tape to Dusty Rhodes, care of Black Bart. When he sees it, he'll call me or get in touch with me. But anyway, I was in Charlotte. He called me down there, and I'm the one that got him a job. And Iron don't remember that. I'm the sapsucker that got him a job. I'm the sapsucker went out on a limb and said he would be perfect as an Anderson, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, with Gene Anderson, the Ole Anderson. Me. Now, and Tony, when you was trying to break into dadgum business, you was trying your best. You couldn't get, but you come to the guys. One of the guys was me. Can I ride with you to the town? Can I go with you? Can I get with you? I got to get to them bills. I don't have the money to do it, but I need a ride. And y'all, I know y'all are going, so let me go with you. And we did. We let you go, and then you get to be a big shot. And now you on one of your shoot interviews, you call it old Bart a stupid SOB. You're calling me all kinds of names that I gig myself for free. Well, guess what, Tony? That's a bald-faced lie, my friend. That is a bald-faced lie. I got paid, okay, but I didn't have to. I would have done it. I would have done it for nothing because it was an honor. It's supposed to be an honor for a promoter or a booker to come up to you and say, "Hey, Bart, I want you to get some sauce tonight," because they you got sauce. They knew that I went to the well. I come up with a full bucket. Okay, I didn't get a little pap smear running down into my nose. I was covered from head to toe in my own blood. Now, it when you call your friends names and you're making fun of the people that helped you, it hurts right here, brother. Wait a minute, right there. It hurts right there. It hurts right in there because I love you and I still respect you because I know you just poking fun, but it hurts, man. There's thousands and millions of people hearing you call me an SOB, and my mama didn't have a dadgum thing to do with it. Now, that being said, I'm good.
Good promo. You still have the promo skills.
Thank you, brother.
For Chris Adams, you mentioned him earlier. Do you have any stories about him? Because he's popular on this channel.
Chris Adams, bro. He, you know, when I call a guy like Chris a drunk, okay, we were all drunks. All right, we stayed drunk as much as we could, and Chris, he went overboard, okay, and he got into some heavier stuff, but that's all. I don't that you know, and he owed some people some money and all that, and I don't believe that one of the boys would OD. Chris OD, Buzz Sawyer OD around the same time, year apart. They that all that crap with Chris Benoit went down, and it don't that the boys, the wrestlers, the boys knew when to say we because and including me, I drank, brother. I drank, and I had a can of snuff in my mouth. I put a whole can of Copenhagen in my mouth. Read Jimmy Valiant's book. I'm the dude that puts a whole can of snuff in my lip. And then, well, really, it was about 3 cans of snuff, but I had it packed in there, and it was Jimmy Snuff. I'll tell that story later. But Chris, man, he tatered you in the ring wrestling. You know what you want to the rating on how good of a baby face you are or how good of a heel that you were. It goes up to Ricky Steamboat, okay? Because Ricky Steamboat, in my opinion, is and will always. He was the best guy to be in an angle with, and I was in an angle with him. I tore his gym up and beat his and left his. You know, it's still on eBay, and you can see it. Punch in Black Bart and go go to shoot Black Bart shoot interview, and I got a list of stuff a mile long. But Chris Adams, brother, let the booze get to him. All right, not just the drugs. We were me and Akbar and gang and oh man, Big Boss Man. We're up in Louisiana somewhere. We're on the toad jumping plane, a little Cessna, and the pilot of that thing. It wasn't a little Cessna. It's bigger than that. It held 7 or 8 people, but we were jumping from town to town in this little plane, and some reason Chris Adams is going to beat up the pilot on the little plane. We don't. In other words, he gets beat up. We don't get to go home. If he's in the hospital, we got to stay there till he, or we got to. But and we went and talked to Chris and settled Chris down. I'm okay. I said, brother, you're not going to hurt him because you're going to have to hurt me before hurt him. And it won't be a wrestling match. It'll be a fight because I want to go home to my family. And he fumbled off and went off and got in his room. And I don't even think he was on the little plane. He caught another ride or something. I don't know how he done it. But he in the ring and that super kick, brother, when he give you that super kick, most of the time, 99.9% of the time, he knocked the head off. And that's the part I didn't like because it had to take his finish, and you had when you're in an angle, I've got to take your finish and you got to take my finish on many given nights, not just one or two given nights. But damn, that's pretty good. It was with Chris, it was hit or miss. If he's going to show up drunk, if he's going to show up stoned, or it's kind of like wrestling the Von Erichs, about the same. He run with them. They tragic, brother, tragic.
There was a fan that wanted to know if back when you were wrestling for WWE, they had catering at the matches and food for you guys, or if you had to buy your own food in those days.
It was WWF when I was there, brother, and the only time they had catering is at Ever TV. Ever TV, you had to be there at 10:30, 11 o'clock, even if you wasn't being pushed. Which I went up there with thinking I was going to be pushed, and Vince McMahon decided to punish me for not coming when he wanted me to come, and that's when Bass lost a hair match to Beefcakes, and they were going to put me and Bass and J.J. Dillon back together, and my wife Bonnie, which she's dead now, is Sarah Jo Puckett, and put Beefcakes with Blackjack Mulligan, and Mulligan ends every one of his interviews with, and Sarah Jo Puckett says, with my valet was going to be my wife, and she was going to be Sarah Jo Puckett. It'd been great, but Vince mad at me because I didn't come up there. I told him no because I've been in. They didn't tell me that. They didn't tell me that. They told me 3-day tryout, and I was WCW, and brother, I was making good money back then. All right, middle to semi main event, and I'd been there 20 years. My whole life had been there, and I said as soon as David Crockett Jimmy Crockett found out that I was going for a 3-day tryout, he fired me, and it went up in there. So I said, no, I'm not going. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to ride this out. Well, that's when we was doing Desperados, and me and Dutch Mantell and Dead-Eye Dick was looking for Stan Hansen, and it was supposed to. It aired on TBS. It aired on TBS, 90-minute sitcom. All right. And it was supposed to be sold to Fox. And Fox was little bitty organization then, but now, they're huge, brother. Fox is big time. But if I didn't do it. So, but with that being said, we was looking for Stan Hansen, and it was a comedy, Western comedy thing. And my good friend Ric Flair went to Ted Turner, told Ted Turner, you give them 3 jabronis all that TV time, and you give your world heavyweight champion none. I said, do what? Every TBS show has got 30 minutes of Flair on it, at least, maybe more. And we was absolutely no threat to Ric Flair, and I still to this very day, and we're still friends. I forgive him. I forgive him, but I'll never forget. I'll never forget, brother. You know, when you go to ear on somebody and you slit their throat and then you start stabbing them in the back, pretty much it cost Dutch his job. It cost Randy his job, because when the contracts come, they were so little to these. You know, it wasn't a $300,000 or $400,000 contract. You know, it was $100,000. That's a lot of money to me, and even back then, that's a lot of money to me. And you know, I stayed there. I stayed. They left, and I stayed there, and I wrote it out almost to the very end. And Dusty said, "Well, when you gonna cut your hair and grow up and shave your beard?" I said, "I hate long hair." I played football. I played football for 18 years, 16 years, but I never had long hair. I never had. I was clean shaven. I was the model athlete. I won Tom Landry Award in Texas, and that's high honors in high school football. Honorable mention to high school All-American. On a team that was 4-6, so that's pretty dead good. But the deal with Flair was just, he had. I still to this very day don't know why, but maybe I won't never know why. But you know, he's still going to the ring. Looks pretty. You know, he looks pretty good still. Old Bart, Ric Flair. You know, I may happen again, brother.
What was the wildest night you would have had with Ric Flair back when you guys were partying?
Man, oh man, I can't. I'm gonna tell you. I can tell you a wild. You want to hear a wild story? I'll give you a wild story, brother. We're in Richmond, Virginia, and you know, at the big Coliseum there, and that's Earl Hebner's and Dave Hebner's hometown, and they're working for Crockett at the time, and we had the show, great, you know, great matches, everything great. The Deadgum building sold out and all that. And we wound up at the motel room at the bar. Well, brother, we don't get there to almost 12:30, 1 o'clock. So they calling last call and we're walking in the door. So Dusty's in there. Dusty orders like 175 Miller Lights and 175 triple kamikaze. Yeah. And not to be outdone, Ric Flair doubles it. They pretty much give Ric Flair and Dusty the bar and said, okay, who do you want to stay? Well, me and Bass and all the guys stayed there. And we don't leave till it's all drank and gone. I mean, and them kamikaze, them were some tough son of a guns to choke down. But we're walking, trying. Me and Bass is trying to get back to our room, right? We're no driving. We're trying to find our room. Well, it's a double decker at this place where we're staying. It's a motel, hotel, whatever you know, not no Hilton or anything like that, but it's a double decker. Me and Bass is down on the bottom floor, Bass knees and all this stuff, and we're walking. I feel weird. I feel like something ain't right. Something ain't right. And the night manager comes charging out. What are y'all doing? Y'all crazy son of a Saxon. You know what? What are y'all doing? Ma'am, all we're trying to do is find our room. Can you help us? And she was going off. And all me and back, we ain't done nothing except walking, trying to find a room. I look up, Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair is standing side by side like this, and with their hoo-hoos, their wee-wees hang over the rail, trying to piss the manager. I said, ma'am, they ain't a damn thing wrong. Look up. And she looked up, and I mean, she hit. She went nuts, but she went nuts. Okay, and up them stairs, and she's just reaming them out, and Dusty standing there butt naked, and Ric Flair standing there butt naked. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So we didn't. After that, we couldn't stay there no more. I mean, it's a little story.
Now, I've interviewed Billy Jack Haynes a bunch of times. Have you had much interaction with him over the years?
Billy Jack Haynes' brother come to Florida when Florida was still the NWA down there, and I was on the lawsuit with him, and we talked later in the years, but brother, they was not a meaner, tougher guy ever come down the pike. Billy Jack Haynes, he and strong, so strong. So I mean, just unbelievable. But one of the stories about Billy Jack was we're in a spot show. It may have been Atlanta TV. I mean, a sportatorium in Tampa. We walk in, and the dressing, we put our bags down. Me and Bass, JJ's already there, but me and Bass walk in. We put our bags down, and boy, something ain't right. Well, we keep hearing. We open there's another little dressing room. It's like two dressing rooms right side by side, but they're kind of babyface over here, and Billy Jack is in there, pounding, beating the piss out of Barry Windham, Yellow Dog. At the time, he was Barry Windham and Yellow Dog. And I said to myself, man, Jay, I said, Bass, you know Mulligan's fixing to hit that door. He is going. Mulligan is going to rip. Mulligan was tough. I mean, mean, tough. Going down the road, just jump on the damn bull standing out in the field, try to tip him over. But they just pounding Barry's butt, boy. Mulligan walks in there, puts his back down, said a damn word. They just said something. It was over with. And Mulligan did that. How you doing? Or get smiles, go to anything. But he Billy and I got to know him a little bit better than I mean, he didn't hurt you in the ring. I was in his that full Nelson thing he done 100 times. I probably wrestled him 200 or 300 times. He you don't want to mess with. You didn't want to mess with that boy. He will hurt you. He'll mess you up. He mess you up. They say that my teeth, the fans or some other stuff. They say that Bart needs a dentist or Bart needs some insurance to get his teeth done. I'm getting my teeth worked on, fixed, but it's just taking a while, brother, because it's dead gum expensive. Even with insurance, it's so expensive. But the deal is that Billy Jack Haynes has got a couple of these knocked down my throat. I don't think he did it on purpose. I think it was an accident. But They say that I grinded my teeth off. I don't remember grinding, but anyway, I remember spitting them out. I remember that.
Well, he's lost all of his teeth now, so you're doing better than him.
I still got 3 or 4 over here, 3 or 4 over here, and almost all the ones on top. I got them, but I dipped that Copenhagen, brother, and that Copenhagen, boy, I'm telling you, anybody that's dipped in that Copenhagen, and I'm a redneck, always will be a redneck, but if you're putting tobacco in your lip, in your mouth, any kind of tobacco, I don't care. I chewed, I dipped, I dipped 5 cans of Copenhagen a day, brother, and then go and be looking for more. But and you think it don't get to you. Think it don't get to you. Well, it does get to you. It goes in through your saliva glands and tears everything up. One of the managers, what was his name, brother? Bobby the Brain, Heenan.
Yeah.
He lost from here down. He looked like last time I seen him, he looked like an alien from dipping. And Bobby just dipped a little bit. I'm just saying, and when you dip in it, you say that I'm Superman, I'm invincible, and I said that's a bunch of gaga. When you get 65, 70 years old, brother, and your jaw falls off, wish you'd listen to Bart. Stop that dead gum dipping. Especially, I've seen 7, 8-year-old kids dipping.
There's a fan that wants to know, how was the WWE travel schedule compared to World Class back when you were in WWF?
Brother, the traveling, okay, the traveling, I think I want to say that it was about the same, more especially when they all started doing the big shows, and they started, when I remember Miss Crockett, okay, Miss Crockett, their mother, still alive, and she said, I want the old territory kept running for the talent here in the Carolinas that lives here in the Carolinas. And if you wasn't on the big circuit, then you was on a small circuit. And when I was in WCW, it was just, I want to say it's about the same when I was there, and in comparison to when I left WCW and started in WWF, you get up and we wrestled every day. Now WWF, you wrestled every dadgum day, and I wrestled like 13, 14 times at one TV taping, doing nothing but jobs, one right after another. I said, Vince, they come, Earl and Dave come running, Bart, you got one more, you got a cable. I said, I don't give a rat's hoo-hoo about no cable. I've done 13 or 14 jobs. I may want to come back to this dadgum town on top. I ain't doing no more. I've done all I'm gonna do. If that ain't enough for that swinging hammerhand, give him that. Yeah. And a couple of weeks later, I got my notice. and that's okay. But the traveling, I would say they're the same. You're in an airplane. You're in an airplane, 5:30, 4:30 in the morning. You fly to a town. Okay, the town you're wrestling in is another. You got to get in a rental car and drive 250, 300 miles, wrestle, get in a motel room, get back up, drive the car back to the airport, and get gone and going to the next. That's the way it was. Both deals. The only thing about WCW was Jim Crockett had 2 jets, personal jets that he owned. One of them I called the Elvis Presley jet, and the other one I called the B team. I was on the B team most of the time, but I was the B team main event. What it's worth. I was making damn good money, and can't go back to it, but I'd like to. I would love to go to work at AEW. What do they call AEW? As a manager, like Snake is up there, Kelly's up there, Iron's up there, old timers. What's the manager that golly, the other one called them all but him.
I try not to watch that crap because it's actually worse than WWE, but I understand wanting to hate it.
This is what I do. This is what I do. This is now they got the VCRs and all that crap. Well, I push record, okay, and then I can rerun. I can fast forward. I can stop, freeze. I can do all that stuff, and most of the time, it's on fast forward on high, and it's just and that's me watching wrestling now. And because if I'm sitting in a room watching wrestling, and they know that somebody's sitting over there, hey Bart, what was that? Hey Bart, what was that? Embarrassing, man. And then I go, well, he missed. And why is that guy? He missed, but why does that guy act like he's hitting the head with a sledgehammer? That's the way it is nowadays. They get away with it. They didn't get away with it, brother. If they didn't get away with it, they wouldn't be doing it because they're damn good athletes. They're but they ain't. And we had to pay dues. Okay, paying dues meant traveling 10,000, 15,000 miles a week, making $350, but you still got to make it. You still got to make your shots. You still got to be there. You got to show up. You do what you're asked to do. You either do what you're asked to do or you go home. It's that simple. And if they don't, if it's got to go, in other words, it's got to come full circle. It's got to go back to the territory days. It's got to go back to where we would go to Canada, and I wrestle Canada every month, every 3 weeks for tanning. I can't remember.
Jack or the Tunnies.
The Tunnies. Yeah. We was wrestling for Jim Crockett Promotions, but we would go up there and we'd spend a week or a week and a half or 2 weeks wrestling their circuit. All right. And then you wouldn't get paid for that until you come back up there and you go again. Then you get paid for the one you would, and that got me. I about had to go home and stop because I didn't have no money. But Jimmy Snuka, my friend, my compadre, my amigo, my friend, Jimmy Snuka, put me up in his house, and he put me up to where when I could get the pay my next paycheck from Jim Crockett Promotions, and that he saved me from packing my stuff up and going home because I wouldn't have been. And we was booked in the same towns for the next 2 weeks, and he put me. He brother, you're going with me, brother. You're going with me, brother. You're going with me, brother. That's the respect that I have for the Samoans, and goes all the way back to Jimmy Snuka. And one of the greatest privileges in my career was putting him over in the WWF when I was up there. Got him, the pair. You know, when I don't know if you remember, but Jimmy Snooker started to come out. He was always barefooted. He told me, he said, Bart, he said, Rick, I was Rick Harris, I don't know, Rick Harris. He said, the mats hurt my foot. I said, Jimmy, you need to get some dadgum boots. And you know, he had a ton of money, but he didn't have no time. He didn't. And I had a pair, and I found out that me and him had the same foot size. I had a pair of Paul. They were black sharp trim, red, that shiny red, shiny red. When he started on Atlanta TV, he started wearing them, and he I don't know how long he wore them for a long time, and until he finally, I guess, got his own pair. I give him them boots. I paid $900 for them.
Did you know Steve Austin at all when he was starting off in Texas?
I think you've been listening to some of my shoot interviews, bro. Now, you know, in Texas, you throw a ring up in your backyard, and they come from miles and miles and miles around. Well, Rick Fowler was one of the original Dogs of War. He had one set up in his ring. And I mean, he had a ring set up in his yard. And Steve come walking down the dadgum road, come in the backyard and said, I want to be a wrestler. And Rick got him and he said, Bart, you want to do it or you want me to do it? And I said, brother, I don't just hurt I'm not going to just hurt a guy because he wants to be a wrestler, and we want to see if he can come back, how tough he is, you know. But Rick got in there and done something to brother's collarbone and messed it up, broke it, whatever. And I said, dadgummit, you know, Rick, about 6 months later, here he come back. He said, I told y'all I want to be a wrestler. So we started fooling around with him. Then he went down to Chris Adams' school was in North Side Fort Worth, which was called Cowtown. It was a Cowtown Pro Wrestling. He went down there and started training with them, and he went right straight from there over to the Sportatorium. That's how good he was. But a good dude of mine, a good friend, and I love him to death, bro.
What about The Undertaker? Did you ever meet him? I know he started.
Did I meet him? You asked me have I ever met The Undertaker? Brother, I was with Mark when he wasn't The Undertaker. All right, he lived with me in the Tennessee territory. He was in Tennessee territory. Jerry Lawler would draw a monster and have everything made up and put it on Mark. Well, when Mark come to Texas as Blue Blazer or something, or he was Spoiler 1, Spoiler 2. I think it was Spoiler 2. And that's when he learned how to walk the ropes. Well, there's another big dude that looked like him, and then he started putting him the mask on. I can't remember that guy's name, but but Mark, he lived with me. It was in one apartment. It was me and my wife and my little girl, and it was Dirty White Boy, Dirty White Girl. That's all in one part. And Dustin Rhodes and The Undertaker. But he wasn't The Undertaker, he was Mark. He told us his last name was Jones, but it's Mark something. What is it? Not Lundy. That's
I think Callis or Callaway or something.
It don't matter. But yeah, we brother, back then we lived like that because we wasn't making big money. We wasn't making $1,000, $2,000 a week, $5,000 a week. It was unheard of. You know, we didn't. We were making $500 a week. Six. If we got 7, we thought, boy, we're doing good. We're doing good. But that apartments are expensive, and we had to split the gas. We had to split our living expenses, our food, everything. And that's where we got by. That's where we survived. And I was being pushed big time in Tennessee. And Jerry Lawler, I told him, I said, I'll come try to help you out and work for you. But brother, if you're going to give me a 2 weeks notice, don't just give me my brother. I went all over that Memphis Coliseum. If I got my hands on Jerry Lawler that night, Jerry Lawler wouldn't be with us no more, because give me my paycheck and give me a pink slip in my paycheck. That's just to me. That's just as blind, tired, as son of a gun as you ever meet in your life. But yeah, I know the Undertaker, and I you know, I have a little boy. He's grown up now, and Jesselyn, my daughter, she grown up. But they were like 7 and 8 years old, and you know, they wanted to meet the Undertaker. And I said, "The daddy, can you?" I said, "Yeah, I know it. Let's go to the show. Come on down here to this show." And they were wrestling in Fort Worth or something close to my house, and I went down there, and the Undertaker, his head was too big to see my kids. But anyway.
Now, for Gino Hernandez, what's your opinion on everything that happened with him?
Man, oh man. They were going. Them guys were. Here again, we're going back to I do not believe one iota that one of the boys OD'd. I don't believe it for one iota. Okay, and that's what happened to Jim, is he OD'd, and they might as well put a bullet in his head, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, like Buzz Sawyer, we're in Manhattan. We wrestled at Sportatorium in Dallas, Texas. We go to Manhattan's. It's a bar. It's a nice bar, and we go over there. And we drink free. You tip the girls. Okay. You know, old Buzz. I partied a lot with Buzz, and I know for a fact Buzz wouldn't OD. They ain't no such animal. We don't OD. We know. I mean, we know. But we're sitting there at a table drinking. It's a whole round table of us. California Studs there. Rob Price. Matt. I think Matt, his old lady, was there, and me and Bonnie, and we're sitting there, and we're sitting there drinking. Well, in comes these guys, man. It's got dressed in a suit and tie, and their coats are open, their jackets are open. There's like 4 or 5 of them. They kind of surround the table. I said, well, this ain't looking too good. They open the jacket, show us the 45. All right, and every one of them's got one. And we ain't got no guns. And they said, we're looking for Buzz. So that was Buzz owed the mafia, and you know, but Buzz OD, and we buy that and we accept that, but I don't think Buzz OD. Not for one iota. I don't think. Man,
Gino.
Who?
Gino Hernandez.
Gino. I don't think Gino OD. Now I know for a fact. Now I never was with Gino, because when Gino was here, I was out in the Carolinas. But I heard he was wow. So And of course, I watched that thing on the dark side of wrestling and all that. But you know, you got to, you have to. You know, I don't believe the OD. I don't believe the OD. I believe that. I ain't saying.
Who do you think was the better booker between Gary Hart and Ken Mantell as far as world-class booking?
Brother, that's hands down Mantell. And I love Gary Hart to death. But I worked for Gary Hart, and I had never worked for Mantell. Me and Johnny was best friends and tag team partners, won numerous tag team titles together. But by far it had to be Mantell, because he had that run with the Von Erichs and the Freebirds, and brother, they ain't too many places match what they done. You know, I sold out Cotton Bowl, you know, which it's a pretty, you know, and I said, man, sold out the Cotton Bowl. Well, no, we sold out what Fritz rented of the Cotton Bowl. He rented a quarter of the field, and it was roped off, and that was all sold out. I don't 50,000. I don't Reunion Arena. Unbelievable houses in there. Texas Stadium. Can you imagine Texas Stadium? I wrestled in Miami at Lord of the Rings. I was in a 6-man tag. That's when we left Florida and killed it deader than Kelsey's nuts. But every one of us left and said, "Can't pay us right," and we ain't doing it. But anyway, I didn't mean to say F it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. What do you think happened with Eddie Graham when he ended up killing himself there in Florida?
Here again, brother. You take a 357, a 41 mag, a 44, whatever, a 45. You put it right here, and you pull the trigger twice. You believe that? I got some swamp land I'm gonna sell you in East Texas, West Texas. Okay? I don't. Here again. Eddie. He was a gambler, and he had a big giant gambling debt, and it killed him. And Lord of the Rings. I don't know. I know Dusty was making the payoffs up to the Lord of the Rings. All right, we got screwed out of probably half to 3/4 of the money that if Dusty would have made it, the payoffs that we would have got. You understand what I'm saying? That we would have got and that's why Dusty said, we're all leaving. Every one of us. I'm taking every one of you to the Carolinas. Every one of you to the Carolinas. Come in with me to the Carolinas. I said, brother, I can't go back to the Carolinas. I've done nothing but jobs down there. He said, that does not matter. Not one bit. Not one dead-gum bit. But Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man Valiant for 7 years. Elbow, 1, 2, 3. Old Rick Harris. 7 years. Every Wednesday.
And you know what, Hannibal? You're going to get the elbow for 7 years if you don't end this call with my client, Black Bart, okay? I bought out his contract from J.J. Dillon. Black Bart is my new long rider, and he's going to put the trash compactor all over your head if you're not careful with me, Hannibal. That's it.
I better watch myself.
What was that?
I better watch myself then.
You better, okay? Show's over.